Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Today we've got CEO Gervaise Heddle back from Greatland Gold Plc, ticker GGP on AIM. Welcome back, Gervaise.
Thanks for having me, John.
So you're very quickly becoming our most popular podcast on Share Talk. So we're just going to go into today's RNS. You've just released some news about your cash balance. Do you want to tell us about that, please?
That's right, John. Well, look, it wouldn't be a surprise to those who have followed the company closely, but we announced a placing. I think it was on the 20th of September. We raised gross funds of £750,000, and that was on top of our existing cash balances at the time. And then subsequently, the share price has performed very strongly, and on the back of that, we've had quite a number of warrant conversions. We've raised over £2.5 million since the placing in warrant conversions, and so we're now in a position where we have approximately £4 million in cash on the balance sheet. And look, it's a great position to be in for many reasons, but most importantly, it really allows us now to do what a lot of smaller companies on AIM struggle with, and that's to embark on very serious and ambitious exploration programs across several projects, and it really opens up opportunities that we didn't have before.
I mean, were any of those warrant conversions a surprise to you? Because obviously some of them were very substantial, the obvious one being Metal Tiger, and then, leading on from that, we've obviously had Michael leave his role as non-exec. Do you want to just comment on that at all?
Yes, well, look, we've, as you say, we've had a large number of warrant conversions. Metal Tiger may be one of the more well-known ones, but we've had some of the participants from the placing come in and exercise their 0.7p warrants. I think there was one amount that went through for nearly £700,000 in the door. So there's some very serious numbers that have come in there. And look, just in terms of Metal Tiger, Metal Tiger obviously has had a range of investments. One of their investments was Greatland. They backed Greatland in the very early days when Paul Johnson was CEO. I think their initial investment was at 0.1. So, the shares are up 20-fold since then. So you can certainly understand them taking the view that, look, they've had a good run and take some of the cash off the table while they're focused on a couple of other big things with their business. And look, that seemed like an appropriate point for Michael McNeely to move on and focus on his job at Metal Tiger, where obviously they've got a lot of things going on.
So, is there now space on the board for an extra non-exec moving forward?
Yes, well, we've said that we're going to start a process at looking for potential replacements and somebody to come on as a non-executive. But look, more generally, we're also looking at increasing the team moving forwards here. We can't do a lot more exploration work probably without adding one or two more people. So we'll be looking for somebody at the board level, but also people at more of a general management and operational level as well, as we sort of transform into what I hope will be a much bigger company.
Yes, talking of operations, you had some news out last week about Panorama. Do you want to just give us an overview of what happened there?
Certainly. So, look, at Panorama, there's been a couple of things going on. We've had people on the ground there at Panorama. We've also had our team reviewing a lot of the historical data, and people don't appreciate this because a lot of people think exploration is all about getting out there and just doing work in the field, but a tremendous amount of exploration happens in the data review stage, and this is what a lot of companies don't do well. And so we've had 3 people working on reviewing a lot of the old data, and through that process, I think we dug up a couple of really important things that we announced last week. And the first one is that we've identified these rock chip samples containing gold up to, I think it was 66 grams per tonne on the northern licence there, over sort of a 3 kilometre potential strike length, and I think that's really sort of important new information. More interestingly, potentially for some investors, is that in the south we've also identified, based on government mapping, coarse grain sandstones and conglomerates adjacent to Mount Roe basalt. Now, this is a similar sort of stratigraphy that we believe hosts the recent Novo discovery, and this is the whole theme that's in vogue at the moment in what people are describing as the Pilbara Gold Rush. So, look, we think there's a lot more work for us to do there up in the Pilbara, and we're looking very seriously at that as a really important project for the company.
Yes, I mean, last time we spoke, we were talking about Ernest Giles. Obviously, you've got this agreement with Newmont coming to a head at the middle of next month in November. You said you'd kind of stop working there for the moment. I mean, what the big question on everyone's lips, I guess, from an investor point of view, is when are we likely to see an announcement regarding the Newmont potential JV or sale of Ernest Giles?
Yeah, well, look, I wouldn't want to speculate on the timing of any future announcements. That's not what I do. But look, in terms of our own plans, we're waiting to see, what Newmont's interest level is and what their results indicate. But obviously, internally, we have our own plans for Ernest Giles as well. So we have, we're always working on targets and, understanding it ourselves. So that we've got, I feel like we've got plenty of options there at Ernest Giles.
Okay, and you've obviously, with this $4 million in the bank, how quickly are you going to, sort of rejuvenate work on the ground in the other 4 projects?
Well, look, we're coming into the Australian summer right now. So part of the problem we have at our projects in Western Australia is that it just gets too hot to do work out there. Now, as we commented, I think it was maybe a week and a half ago at the Paterson, we have some gravity work planned, and we are also potentially going to do something else in Western Australia before the end of the year, but it is starting to get pretty hot now. And we're actually turning our attention at the moment, thinking more about, well, what can we do in the summer season, potentially in Tasmania and on the Tasmanian projects. And also, we're really preparing for the beginning of the field season next year. Once the heat dissipates, and also there's a lot of cyclone activity that comes up through the Pilbara region and the Paterson region as well, and that's going to make it difficult for a lot of operators up there to do much over the next few months.
Yeah, and it's obviously quite a significant amount of cash. So has that changed your thinking on the types of assets you might be looking to acquire in the future if you're still evaluating new opportunities?
Potentially, yes. I think it does. It certainly gives us a greater range of options to acquire or even to earn into other opportunities, which isn't necessarily something we would have historically done. But it also just changes the way we look at our existing exploration properties. We can, commit to larger, more ambitious programs now, the sort of things that we couldn't do before, and it's often those programs that will yield the greatest results. So there's some real opportunity there, but I can't really say much more than that at the moment.
Okay, well, thank you for your time today, Gervaise.
Yes, thank you very much, John.
So that was Gervaise Heddle, CEO for Greatland Gold Plc, the ticker GGP on AIM.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.